What benefit does the system or the elites that run it truly afford us? What exactly does the system do that requires it to rule over us in just such a way? You know, they can take people's properties, farmers' properties, eminent domain, basically implying that the government owns anything. So even if you fully own everything that you think you own, you don't. The government does. So how can you call America the land of the free when we are quite actually enslaved to these people by debt, by taxes, by work, and by the fact that they have literally deliberately calculated this to not benefit us? They've gone through the extra effort to make sure that even if we are working and saving every penny, we're not really getting anywhere. We're just still stuck in the system. I find it really interesting that people before my generation, Gen Z, the 2000s generation, could buy a house. For us, it's basically out of reach. You can't buy a house. If you're poor, there is no middle class right now. If you're poor, like me, you cannot buy a house off the funds you receive from one job. So how did the boomers get their houses? And how did the jobs they worked amount to being able to buy a house, while our jobs that we work don't amount to that? Even though we work 3, maybe 2, some people have 4 jobs, I've heard. How can that be? It's deliberately set up so that minimum wage is literally that. Minimum wage. Why do you think they're telling you straight up that it is minimum wage? So that you can't legally complain. And that's how they set it up. They write the rules, they give the wages, they set the amount. They set the prices, and the way they've set it up now, they call it inflation, but I can assure you it is artificial. It's not real inflation. It's something that they have deliberately concocted so that poor people are priced out of living in whatever areas they're living in, and that's really it. That's why these rich people that don't struggle at all are raising prices on shit for no reason. There is no reason to raise the prices at all. People are struggling more than ever. But they choose to raise the prices. With all this homelessness, they don't choose to help us in any way. They don't choose to lower the prices. They choose to deliberately, artificially manufacture the way where everything goes up in price while we still get paid the same stagnant wage. And that's why people are living paycheck to paycheck, even if you are working 2 jobs. That's ridiculous, and it's a setup. So until we stop voting with our dollar, nothing will change.